This is the star of today's video, a lemon. We're gonna make a healthy lemon cake. It's gonna be under 100 calories per slice. It's gonna be high protein, so now you can eat lemon cake instead of eating protein bars. It's moist, I'm sorry I said the word. It's decadent, only requires a few ingredients to make, so let's make some lemon cake. We need 2 lemons. I unfortunately do not have a zester, but I have a peeler, and you could just peel a lemon zest. I hate peeling. Peeling is one of my least favorite things to do in the kitchen. A little too much white in there, try to get as little white as possible. I need my mom right now. I can't peel, I hate it. I also have this thing, unnecessary, but I wanted orange zest for color. But we're peeling this first because smaller is better. I've already washed these, by the way. I just didn't show it on camera, so don't get mad in the comments. The skin is so much softer on this, it's so much easier to peel. Or maybe that's just because this is bigger, but bigger is not always better, right? I hope, please. Life lesson for you guys. The smaller the citrus, the bigger the peeler looks. If you have a zester, you wouldn't have to do this, but stack it all up and just cut it really thinly into strips. Put your zest on a plate and set it aside for a little bit. It's time to make the cake. Let's start with regular self-rising flour. If you don't have self-rising, you could use regular flour and just add extra baking powder, 60 grams. And then we want some coconut flour, but this bakes very differently than regular flour, so we don't want to use too much. The macros on this are fantastic. It has a little bit more protein and a lot more fiber than regular flour, but this absorbs so much more liquid than regular flour, so we only want to use a little bit, otherwise this getting is going to get too crumbly and not good. 15 grams. Coconut flour is also going to add a little bit of sweetness to this, which is going to make it really tasty. And then 3 more ingredients. A touch of baking powder. I know I use self-rising, but I want more bubbles, okay? A touch of baking soda, just because we're using acid, lemon juice in this recipe, and that's going to make even more bubbles with baking soda. And then a pinch of salt. I'm using whey protein powder in this recipe. Yes, just whey protein powder in baking, not a whey casein blend. I know a lot of you guys just have whey protein powder and not casein, so I want to show you that this recipe works with just whey protein powder. You don't need a whey casein blend, and you don't need casein. If you have a whey casein blend though, you could sub this in instead of whey, and it will work perfectly. But can you use just casein? Do not use just casein. It will not rise. There will be no bubbles. It will be thick, dense, and it won't be a cake. Please don't use just casein. 45 grams is my favorite sweetener, erythritol. Look, it says plant-based. I'm doing this for you vegans. This recipe is now vegan. Mix this up really well to make sure that nothing clumps up when we add the wet ingredients. Okay, this recipe needs 2 eggs. I know I said this recipe is vegan, but there's more vegan ingredients than non-vegan ingredients, so it rounds to being vegan. Also, these haven't hatched yet, so these are vegan. You could sub out each egg for just egg whites, like 2 egg whites instead of 1 egg, but remember, it's gonna be not as wet. It's gonna be drier, it's gonna be rubbier, and you guys always give me hate for not using the egg yolks. I'm using it in this recipe. Please be happy. Beat 150 grams of Greek yogurt. Roll your lemon around, it's gonna make it juicier. You can also microwave it. Juice them. I'm doing it in a separate bowl because I really don't want these seeds to fall into this bowl. We want the juice from 1 lemon, which is 45 grams. I'm just gonna measure it out. I almost threw a seed in there, jeez. And then a ton of vanilla extract, I like a lot. Nope, more. Mix. You know what I don't like? When I don't feel like I have the mojo. And you know when that happens? After I have a night of drinks and I wake up the next morning. When I go out for a night of drinks and I wake up the next morning, I don't have the same mojo. I don't feel like myself, I don't feel as good, I don't feel peak performance, and I don't like that. It's a bad feeling. And guess what? ZBiotics is the answer we've all been looking for. This is a game-changing product. With this, you don't have to choose between having a great night or a great next day. ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. It's designed to work like your liver, but in your gut, where you need it most. Remember, drink ZBiotics before drinking any alcohol. Make this the first drink of your night. Drink responsibly and get a good night's worth of sleep to feel your best tomorrow. I'm gonna drink this and I'm gonna go have some drinks and I'm gonna wake up with my mojo the next day. It's the holiday season. This holiday season, give your friends and family the gift of a better tomorrow with ZBiotics. Thank you to ZBiotics for sponsoring this video. Pour the wet into the dry. And mix this up. Don't overmix because we don't want the flour to have the gluten in it activated. We're not trying to make pizza or bagels. We want a light, fluffy cake. So just gently fold. Just bring the spatula and push everything on top of each other. You see how there's bubbles forming? The baking soda. it's activating with the acid from the Greek yogurt from the lemon juice, and it's creating bubbles right now. Baking powder, on the other hand, it's double acting. With the heat from the oven, the bubbles are gonna form. We forgot some lemon zest. So we need zest from 2 whole lemons. That's around that much, except I want some orange color, so I'm gonna use half of this, and then I'm gonna use an equal amount of some orange. Maybe a little more. And then mix both of these in. I think that orange color is just beautiful in this batter. I love silicone pans. I'm gonna leave a link to this in the description, but nothing sticks. You can just pop it out. I also ran out of oil spray. Nothing's coming out, just air. Not a problem today. Pour the batter in. 325 degrees Fahrenheit. While the cake is baking, let's make a quick frosting. 120 grams of Greek yogurt. I'm using vanilla sugar-free pudding mix. We need 7 grams of this. It's gonna make this really thick, really sweet, and give it a perfect texture. The juice from 1/3 of a lemon, or 15 grams. A little pinch of vanilla. And then 2 packets of sweetener. You could use any sweetener you want, and you could use more packets, like 3 if you like this really sweet. But I think I like the tanginess of the lemon. Mix this up. The pudding mix tends to clump, so this is gonna require a little bit of work, but just keep going. A whisk helps mix this and break up the pudding mix clumps. Look at this. I don't know if you got what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to show you that the pudding, or the frosting, it follows the whisk around the bowl. It's that thick. That's what I was trying to show. It's a thick frosting. Throw in a little lemon zest, some orange zest, a little more of each, and mix one more time. Now set this in your fridge and let it just chill there until the cake's ready. Throw it in, and this frosting I get to eat. That's so good. I like the tang. Please don't screenshot that. It's been 40 minutes and it's done. When a toothpick goes in and out, it is good. I'm using silicone, which is a really bad conductor of heat, so if you use a metal pan, it's gonna take less time. Let it cool completely before we frost it. Check out my cookbook, link in the description. It has over 100 recipes and I'm constantly updating it, so when you buy it once, you get all future updates for free. Time to frost. I love silicone. It's gonna pop right out, look at that. This is heavy, like heavy. Let's weigh it out. Tear. It's a pound. Entire cake's a pound. This thing is thick, it is dense, and you could tell it's so soft inside. Mix the icing, and just plop it. Now we can spread it on. Use a knife. It's so fluffy on the inside. And it's not dry at all, you could touch it. It cuts like butter. It's so soft, but yet it's so dense and so moist inside. It breaks apart so easily. Calories and macros. This entire cake, 708 calories, 69 grams of protein. I may or may not have tweaked this recipe to hit that protein amount. 89 calories, 9 grams of protein per slice, 9 grams of carbs, 2 grams of fat per slice. That means you can have 2 slices, 180 calories, 18 grams of protein. That's literally like eating a protein bar, except you get to eat lemon cake. It's soft, it's decadent, it's dense, and it's filled with protein, so it's gonna fill you up. That cake is so soft. It crumbles.